Hello everyone and welcome to episode 9 here on the BaconCraft server. And what the plan for today is, we're going to do something I'm pretty excited about. I'm actually really in a good mood right now, and I'm excited to do what we're going to do. And just because of that, I decided to start today's episode out here in the new base area. Well, that will be the new base area, maybe. But that's because it's nice and sunny outside. Up there's the sun, and it's a nice day, and I'm happy, and we're going to get going here. So, here's what we're going to do for today's episode. What we need to do really is, actually, before I start that, I just released the last episode of BaconCraft here, episode 8, and I need to hear from all of you guys about what we should build the new base out of and all that stuff. So basically, get to the comments section if you haven't already watched the last episode, and let me know what's going to happen with the new base, because I needed you guys' suggestions on that for sure. Where's my fortune pickaxe? There it is. Let's put my helmet on just in case. Okay. For this episode, we are running very far away, and it's going to be a little bit boring here, but I'm just going to talk while I run. But we are running all the way over to spawn, and it's really, really far away is what it is. It is thousands of blocks actually, and we're going to travel through the nether to get there, and I'll probably cut this and just end up there before we're done here. But I wanted to tell you what we're doing quick over there. What we are doing is something that has been bothering me since the first episode here on the server, which is there doesn't seem to be any real safety for newcomers on the server. Now what there is right now is there's supposed to be about 600 blocks that you have to run, and then you get to like this jungle temple, and that has everything that you need kind of, but that transports you to the nether, which doesn't really have any signs, to get to the starting village area, and then when you get there you'll be safe. And the whole purpose of that in the beginning was to have an area where you could run to be safe right away, but in my opinion it's not that safe at all, because you have to run about 600 blocks. There's nothing near spawn for you. If you come into the game during nighttime, you're kind of, unless you dig a hole really quick, you're kind of out of luck, kind of how I died in the first episode. So I'm going to go all the way over to spawn, and I'm going to recreate and build a cabin that my uncle has. For those of you who don't know me, I'm originally from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and you travel up north, as we say. So we go up to like Eagle River, Wisconsin, in the summer times, especially actually around this time of year and in July. And we go fishing and stuff up there on one of the lakes that my uncle has a cabin on. And it's a tiny cabin, but I'd like to recreate that cabin near spawn, just so that anybody who spawns right there can have somewhere to run and be safe. And then I haven't decided yet if I want to put a portal in there, which will direct you into the nether to run to that starter village to get everything you need, or if we're just going to create some sort of path that leads over to the jungle temple, which is the original portal to get to the villager starting area. But the first thing we need to do is get to spawn, and it's far, far away. I think it's this way, but I'm going to check, and I'll get back to you guys once I finally get to the jungle temple, I think. I made it! I made it finally to the jungle temple, and I haven't even really seen this place, but it looks like we got melons growing for food. We definitely have some melon, and we got some leather armor and some dyes. I don't know why you would need that to start. A lot of netherrack. And a couple tools, some more leather armor, and some stone, some cobblestone there. Then you got your furnaces with some coal already in the furnaces, your workbenches, and let's go upstairs. Downstairs right there was the portal, and upstairs looks like it's primarily just a lookout and a bed. That's good. And is there a way to get outside that's protected? Ooh, that's cool. Alright, well that's your protection once you're inside. So yeah, it's a decent place to be protected. The only problem is that you have to run about 600 blocks, or I have to check, but I think it's like 600 blocks. It's a couple hundred blocks through the jungle, which, as you know, has a tough canopy for the light to get through, so even during the day you're going to be fighting mobs in the jungle. So even if you did know where to go, which right now there are no signs, you have to run through a jungle, and that's dangerous. So, alright. I'm going to fight my way through the jungle. I think it's still midday, so I think I can make it all the way over to spawn, and then I'll be right back. It's really quick. I have spawn marked coordinates as 202 and then 6 is our Z, and right now we're at 850x and 234, so it is definitely about 600 blocks or a little bit more away because you're running diagonally, and that's definitely a problem. So I'm gonna try to get there. Wish me luck. I've arrived at spawn. I built this in the first episode, either off camera or on camera, I can't remember, but that marks our spawn area. So where do I build a cabin around here? And this is a tiny cabin in real life, but in Minecraft, in order to make it so that you can actually stay there, it's going to have to take up a considerable amount of blocks. But it has 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, living room, and maybe I'll make the basement, but that's not really that important. But then it has a little balcony or a patio as well. And maybe over here, next to the water? By the way, these flower forests are amazing. I've really never before this server was in a real flower forest, but I just ran through, I came from that direction, and there's just so many flowers. In some places it seems like every single block has a flower on it, and it's crazy. I need to find out where I'm going to build this cabin, and then I'll be right back. I'm having flashbacks to the first episode. Hiding in my little tiny cave. Pray that I survive the night, everyone. Good news, everyone. I survived the night, and it's been another night, and I've added some things here. That's because I found something outside that I want to show you guys, and I had to wait till night again to show you. I ran all the way over here. I was searching all around after the daytime came, and I found that all of a sudden I saw some light coming from this side, and I was like, what the heck is that? And maybe they've already dug a tunnel or something that's more safe, and I might have to abandon this whole idea. And I was like, alright, let's check it out. So I ran down here, and first I came across this big ravine. And as you can see, I went through and lit the entire thing up, and I gathered a few things, because basically I killed some skeletons down there and some zombies. Then I realized that the zombies might pick up some of the items that from the dead guys that I killed, and they might not despawn. So I realized that was bad, especially because we're in the spawn chunks, which are always loaded. So I went ahead and killed that, and then if you can see a little hole at the end there, it actually opens up into another ravine that goes even deeper, and it's just massive. So I lit up that one too, but I kept going down. I was like, oh, I see bedrock, so maybe I can go, maybe they did something at bedrock, but no, it's just a bedrock wall. So my guess is maybe some of the command blocks that we have are back behind here that they set up when they built the server, but I don't know. But let's get back upstairs and let me show you guys the space that I picked out in order to build the cottage. It's not the greatest, but it's the best I think that we have to work with. Alright everyone, I had to wait till the daytime, but apparently my waiting did not stop the rain. The rain wants to come, so it's going to be. Here's our spawn, and I wanted to build it right around here, but I think what I'm going to do is build it on top of this hill over here. Now the reason I wanted to do that is because of how the actual uncle's cabin is built. Where we are from, where that cabin is, the lake is down here. There's a giant hill that you have to walk up and down. In fact, it's become such a pain that for my grandparents, we actually have a golf cart now that can take them up and down the hill down to the lake, which will be right here. But there's a huge hill, and there's a basement that I've decided that I am going to build, which will go just beneath the surface here. And then here was a big enough space where I think I can do some terraforming and make the actual cabin look the way it's supposed to look. So here's going to be our space. I need to start to level this off a bit and decide what's going to be our ground floor, and then I need to do some terraforming to make the basement in there. But more or less I'm going to get to work for clearing the space, and I think I'm going to hammer out exactly where the foundation will be and then come back and show you guys what we have. Very good news. I have terraformed the mountain, more or less. And the real mountain here, the real hill that is actually near the cottage, there's trees on both sides, and the hill continues both ways right here. It wraps around like a circle. But you're going to go up the mountain every once in a while. There's 2 of these because there's little timber paths here. This is where you're going to walk into the basement area, which is actually underneath a little patio that we have here. And then you're going to go up, and I have marked off, without the help of this spider, I have marked off where the corners of this house are going to be, roughly. Now this is a bit of a problem that we cut into this mountain, because in the real cottage, there is no mountain here, of course. And there's actually a little bit of a hill here on this side, but it's not much of anything. It doesn't even stop the windows from the house, you know. Really, there's a woods back here. There's slightly woods on the side, slight woods on the other side. There's a cabin here. There's a cabin a little bit further on this side. But either way you put it, no matter if we push the cabin back a little bit more or however we move it, there's no hill here. There's no mountain here, and I don't like it here because it's blocking any view that you would have of the cottage from this side. So long story short, this cabin, or this whole mountain here, has got to go. It's got to go. So I could just do this. I could just start hacking it down, but you know what? We didn't spend all that time in the nether to not have beacons and to not just fly through a mountain and terraform it so that it looks like it's part of this smaller mountain over here and just blends into the rest of these mountains over that way. No, so I'm going to run all the way back. I'm going to set up my beacon over here. We're going to clear out this entire mountain, and we are going to then lay the foundation for this thing, and I'll do the rest of the terraforming much later after the cabin's made. But I think I'm going to do this mountain clearing here in a third-person time-lapse. So I'll be right back with that beacon, guys. Okay, for those of you wondering, did I remember to bring my beacon the first time I ran all the way home? Of course. Of course I did. There's no way I forgot and had to make 2 trips. That's absurd. But without further... no, I forgot my iron. Alright, you guys. I'm going to get this beacon powered up, and we are going to clear this mountain, finally. And 2 double chests full of stone and granite and obsidian, not obsidian, andesite and diorite and grass and all that stuff later. And we have a larger place to make our little cabin here. Now I might still change it a little bit. I might have to push it back a little bit so that I can add some of the outside details that are actually in the cabin, such as like a bonfire on this side, and there's some flowers that kind of border it around here too. Also, there's a door that goes right back about here-ish, or maybe here. Something like that. And if we open up the door and there's just a giant mound here, that might be a problem. So I might end up pushing that back a little bit so we can fit some of those things in. Let's go ahead and get the foundation in. Let me figure out where I'm really going to put this thing and make some final adjustments, and then we can just start to throw up the walls and get to building this thing. Alright, no joke. I have been at this for about 2 hours, and this is all I have. I've gone through many variations of how I want the foundation done. I've pushed back this mountain here much more. I've pushed back that mountain much more. I've dug out and created this area here, which I realized I would need when I kind of come around the side of the house like this, and there's a place into the basement. There's a door up there, and I haven't really done anything to this, but I've replanted and planted a bunch of different grass and stuff. I've tried to figure out, here's the front door, try to figure out how that's gonna work. I'm not sure if I like this. I don't know about the posts and the columns. I feel like I've done nothing, and it's been 2 hours. Alright, you are all about to get a first-hand look of what Hodag's early life was like. Okay, this is the cottage. It is not something special. It's not something that's meant really to be lived in for an extended period of time, although it could be. But, you know, I'm planning out this first path, you know, that when you walk in the front door here, which is on the side of the house, doesn't even really look like a front door. There's literally, I think there's still only 1 rail on the side here. There's not even 2. And it's nothing special, but once I put the outside in, you'll get a much more real picture. But I want to point out a few things. This path right here, I was trying to decide if I should make it 2 blocks wide or 1 block. And if it was 2 blocks wide, it would be too large. Because when you bring stuff in to the cabin, you got to bring all your food up there, because you don't leave food there. It would mold because you're not up there for weeks. And so you walk in, you're bringing in like a cooler, and you got to turn sideways, and your back's up against the wall, and you're hitting this wall with your arm, and you can't even really maneuver down this hallway. So anyway, there's a little cubby here. You put your shoes here. You walk in, or you keep your shoes on, really. And then you come this way. There's actually 2 little closets here, but in a second I'll tell you, because we're not going to be able to keep both of them in Minecraft at least. So I'll have to get rid of one of them, but that's where there's little closets here. And then there's 2 bedrooms. Here's the first one, and it's bigger than it should be, and we're going to get to that in a second. It's bigger this way, too far. And then we go back, there's a closet on this side, little bed in the middle, some nightstands, and that's about it. With some really old, I think it's still pretty old carpet from like the 80s. It was built in the 80s, I believe. And you got blankets and things in this, and more pillows, bed sheets. And you go in here, I tried to simulate the carpet, because if I remember right, the carpet's about, it's about a quarter width thick, which means there's basically no carpet, and it's old. So I tried to make this, maybe I was like, maybe this will look like the carpet, but I'll end up probably just putting actual Minecraft carpet down at one point. There's 2 beds, there's twin beds, one here and one here, and then there's just a little closet over here. And then there's 2 little windows, and I remember when I was really young, this is where I usually slept, in one of these twin beds. This was the kids' room, basically. And I'd sleep here, and then I'd look outside, and there would be like, we're up in the woods, so there would be bears sometimes. There would be deer that would eat in a little feeder out back here. And it was just, you could hear everything. It was super quiet, so it was a kind of a cool place to be. I used to look out that window all the time. Then you come in the bathroom, and there's a shower, a toilet, and a sink. And then there's like a little chest here on the wall, and then you walk in. So really this needs to be 1 block further that way, so I could put a toilet, a shower, and a sink of some kind. I wasn't really that concerned about it, but it turns out the kitchen just up here on this side is also too small, so I'm going to extend it 1 more. But really, it's a super tiny bathroom. And you have to turn the water on when you get up there because there's a water pump. The cottage has a well, and you have to turn the water on to flush the toilet. You turn the pump off when you're leaving, and stuff like this. Some of you might not be familiar with this if you've never had a cabin before. And then this goes down, we'll put a door here, that goes down to the basement. And then here's the kitchen. I tried to simulate what the carpet looks like up there, because this is kind of like some sort of flooring that I don't even know, but it's lighter colored. And you walk in, there's kind of it kind of cuts diagonally, but usually from like right here, not over this way. It cuts diagonally and then runs straight, and then there's a window over here. And there's a couch here with its back toward where I'm standing right now, because this is the kitchen. So you'd have a refrigerator here, a stove here, little space in the corner, and then a sink with a window above it, which usually has an air conditioning unit in it if you're in there in the summer. And then like 2 cupboards, the garbage, and some other weird thing with a microwave on top of it. So there is enough space here for blocks to have everything that is in the actual cabin, but it needs to be pushed this way 1 more, so I can put more in the bathroom. I can fit more here. Technically this room right here is probably about the right size already, but we'll just make it 1 block longer. And then this is the living room. There's no wall in between. There's a love seat here, it's called. It's basically meant for 2 people. It faces this way. There's a couch on this wall that you can pull out into another bed, because in the summer we used to have tons of people stay here. There is a window on this side with a stuffed fox on a little table here. There's a really crappy TV that gets like 2 channels, kind of, in this corner. There's a little coffee table in that corner. And then this is a sliding glass door to go out into the porch, which I haven't made yet. And then, one thing I wanted to show you is usually when you go down the basement steps, which I'm not making wider either, because this is about how wide it is. If my brother watches this, he might comment that this is actually about how wide it is. You almost have to turn sideways to go down the stairs. And there's a railing, so I'll add that. But then when you get down there, if I went any further than 1 block, like this is pretty much the wall in real life. So I think I'm going to pull this wall in 1, 2, 3 blocks, because I think that'll be fine, because the living room is not this long. And this bedroom is not that long usually, and I can just get rid of one of these closets and it should be fine. So I think I'm going to pull that wall in 3 blocks, and then I need to push this wall out 1 block. And that'll be about the correct dimensions, because you go down here and you can run right into that basically. And then here is a little table where we clean fish. There's fishing poles up in the rafters, which I'll try to add somehow maybe. And then about where you see that hole is where the door is to go outside, out back basically. And maybe what I'll do is just take this step out, because I'm not sure if I want that much height basically. So we might have this be the floor right here. And then you walk out those double doors right there, and that's another way out of the cottage. You can also walk up and go into these doors from the porch, and you can go in that front door over there. And then from here you walk down, kind of comes around, there's a bonfire over there, and you walk down to the lake, which is Big Bass Lake in Wisconsin if you want to look it up. Nobody be creepy and show up at my cottage though. Anyways, that is the cottage more or less. Now I have some construction. I'm going to go push this wall back 1 block. I'm going to pull this wall in 3 blocks. I'm going to try to add in a couple more details, and then I'll be back here with you guys. Alright everyone, I have to do another quick update because I've made a big decision. Before we do that, I want to show you that I've made all the adjustments to the house as far as the dimensions. I've added doors, I've adjusted this closet here. You go into the bedrooms and now there are beds, some chests. I've added windows, decided not to go with stained glass windows because it looked a little bit weird when I tried it. Same thing in here. I've added torches to light it up so I can finally work at night because I've also added in a ceiling. Bathroom, I haven't done really anything yet. The basement is done as far as the steps goes, and the railing that is on the steps is pretty much done. This is where you take care of your fish that you caught. This is some shelving, and then you got the basement doors right here that you can walk out and walk back into right now. And then you go back upstairs into the living room, the kitchen area. I've started building the kitchen. You got the refrigerator, you got a stove here, and then you got really nothing in the corner, and then you got a sink. Now you couldn't really fit the faucet and then the window where it's supposed to be in the sink here because Minecraft. In real life, if I'm trying to do this, the faucet's like right here, really above the sink, and then the window's right in front of you. So we're not gonna have a faucet here in our house, but whatever. And then you turn around, and here's the living room. I started adding in the couch and this little countertop here, and imagine a small fuzzy television. I might just leave that for the TV because the TV is really nothing. The problem is that I've decided to do this. I'm changing all of the walls and probably the ceiling because it blends right in with the couches and things. I don't know, like this countertop, it's just going to blend right into the wall. So I'm going to go to a mesa biome and I'm going to get some stained clay and I'm going to replace probably all the walls and the ceiling. Then I'll try to add a couple more details here and then I'll come back and show you what's going on. I have definitely been busy. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. So I have tons of things to show you here, and let's just get going right away. I added some lights to the exterior. Don't worry about the roof yet. On the roof on the actual cottage is actually basically just flat and rather boring. So I'm probably going to put my own kind of cool looking roof on this because I don't want to do a flat boring roof. But I've added some exterior lights here just to light up the outside. I've obviously added the deck out here, the porch. I haven't done any of the exterior landscape or terraforming, which will probably have to come in the next episode because we're running out of time. Changed the glass to window panes, and because it's nighttime here, I'm going to close this off. But I kept our fuzzy television sign here, but I've definitely added some other things. Changed all of the walls to, I think it was white stained clay, and then this is the light gray stained clay, something like that. Added in a bunch of carpet, and underneath the carpet I have added some glowstone in all the rooms to light up this place because even though there's torches here to show that there's usually a light on this table and a light on that table, most of the stuff in this house here now is lit up with just underneath the carpet. When you're actually inside the house, it's not actually lit up because you have to turn on lights when you get in the house. But we can't have this be a safe house and have it be dark. That just doesn't make sense. So we got a couple stands next to the couches. I put a lamp in the corner. Like I think there's usually just a vacuum sitting here, but I thought the lamp looked better. I can't recreate a stuffed fox in Minecraft, so we're gonna have to do with these planters. Put a fishing pole up here because I go up here to fish, and that's what I do. People up north also hunt, so I got a bow here. We got little couches here. Our kitchen table. Here's where the garbage was. I got some cabinets up here. The windows, like I said, got some compasses above our, basically as our dials for our stove here. And you already saw the fridge. Let's keep moving on. I didn't do anything really in the basement except add that painting. It's just my storage. So we'll continue that probably in the next episode as well. Let's go down the hallway. I've added a bunch of paintings to spice things up. The bathroom, I didn't put the toilet in because I didn't really have space and I felt like we're probably not going to have to use that in Minecraft here. And right here is our sink with, I tried to make it look like a mirror because there's a mirror, and a painting. That's about it for the bathroom. And then going into basically, no, let's go in there last. I'm going to go in there last. Going into like the older people's room here, we got some nightstands here with flowers on them, a little painting. There's a chair for some reason. I think there's chairs in there, so I put a chair. And another painting. Eventually in here there's going to be armor and beginning tools and stuff for people. And then let's go down here. I was hoping to put the armor and tools in this closet, but I just don't think that's going to be possible. And then in the front here, this is like to hang your coat, but hopefully you don't push it because it'll open that door. And then, I don't know why, this is a weird part of the house. I don't know why it's like this, but it's like this. And there was always a map of the lake here, so I went ahead and put a map. I actually spent like an hour going around all these lakes here trying to find sugarcane, and it took me like an hour to find 3 sugarcane, then come back over here and I planted it right here, and waited a couple Minecraft days for it to grow just to make a compass so I could make a map. And so the progress you're seeing here took hours upon hours. It's kind of ridiculous, but I hope it looks pretty good. It actually does remind me a lot of the cabin, and I'm pretty pumped to be back in the cabin because I haven't been there in years, and it's awesome. And it's one of my favorite places, honestly. One of my favorite places to be. It's peaceful, quiet, serene, everything that's just good. So to end today's episode, you guys, I'm going to get back in here inside the room that I basically used to live in when I'd go up north. I got a chair that I added. There's usually some blankets over there on the right. But to end the episode, I figured I would go ahead and do what I usually do when I'm up north and it's nighttime outside, and I would sleep. Where's the bed? There it is. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, tweet, or comment if you enjoyed what you saw here today. And on behalf of all of the Hodags out there, I'd like to thank you for watching and have a nice day.